Going to make one today from the cargo shipping container here. Going to talk a little bit about the Vermont State Legislature. Apparently the Vermont State Legislature finally got all the memos on the massive poisoning of Lake Champlain. And the news media in Vermont is reporting that yours truly, good old Judson, has been like a laser beam, spot on the massive poisoning of Lake Champlain with huge amounts of sewage from government-owned sewers and all that government sewage. Now, the operators of all those malfunctioning and, well, they're kind of, I don't know, they're sort of ridiculous. The non-functioning sewage treatment plants, well, and not just in Lake Champlain, and in Vermont, I mean, but in New York and in Pennsylvania and Massachusetts and New Hampshire and Maine and Ohio and Jersey. Oh, Jersey's horrible. California's got a big mess with sewage being dumped everywhere. Illinois, all around the Great Lakes. Tampa, Florida's horrible. Miami, Florida's horrible. Orlando, Florida's horrible. All over Florida, Washington State, Texas, Louisiana's a giant mess. Louisiana's like, you just got to be fooling me. But to pick on the guilty parties, Mr. de Blasio and Andy Cuomo, and the Trumps. Hey, Donald Trump. Where are you flushing all your sewage from your buildings, Donald Trump? Is it going in New York Harbor over there, you know, East River to New Rochelle, the virus death capital of America? And the answer, Donald Trump, is, oh, hell yeah. Donald Trump's flushing his sewage into the East River and into the New York Harbor and the Long Island Sound. Along with Cuomo's pals and Cuomo's younger brother there, old Chris Cuomo, and the people at CNN and ABC and NBC and Fox and PBS, and I can go on with the military of the United States. And, well, folks, let's just put it to you this way. The American people have been horribly bamboozled. It's sad, but it's true. And in the process, of course, the government decided to print up a few trillion right out of thin air. Helicopter quantitative easing money right out of thin air. I mean, the point is if the government didn't have paper and ink and those keyboards to make those keystrokes, they'd be bankrupt. The United States government would be completely broken out of business if it wasn't for paper and ink. Now, I hope you like my shipping container. I got a couple of them, and they're pretty cool. They work, they function pretty nice, and I'm working on them. I got, let's see here. I don't know if you can see the electrical panels and the flooring, and we're working on it. I've got all kind of lighting up in the ceiling. Oh boy, this thing's wired for a nuclear winter, I guess. But folks, let's get down to brass tacks here. The little kids in America, the little kids in Canada and Mexico and Brazil, and the children all over the world are depending on us adults to fix this giant mess that the real estate development community has built. The big campaign contributors that pay off the government so that they can dump sewage pretty much wherever they want to. This has to be fixed, ladies and gentlemen. I spent a lot of years building skyscrapers and hospitals and airports, and worked a few times down at Johnson Space Center, and I've built everything from a doghouse to a penthouse, a townhouse to a luxury condominium, apartment buildings, residential development, subdivisions. Built a few of those. And my years in the real estate development and construction industry, Donald Trump, leads me to call out Andy Cuomo and you, President Trump. We need to discuss where all the sewage from your big buildings in Manhattan and all around New York City and Jersey and Atlantic City, where all the sewage from your big developments is going, Donald Trump. And that goes for all the real estate developers that contribute to you and the Clintons and the Bushes and the Pelosi's and the Warrens and Bernie Sanders. Come on down, buddy. We need to talk about Lake Champlain a little bit, Bernie Sanders. Did I tell you, Bernie Sanders? The Vermont state legislature, they got my memos. And so did the state of New York. DEC in Albany and DEC up there in Raybrook, New York. DEC in Lake George. They've got the Witham memos, trust me. I've crawled right up there, you-know-whats, and oh boy, right up in their grill with this dumping of massive numbers of viruses all over the American landscape, all over New York. So folks, I think I'm just going to announce that the Vermont state legislature, according to the corporate news media anyways in Vermont, they finally have come to grips with the fact that they're going to have to fix all that sewage mess all around Lake Champlain. And that's for United States District Judge Terrence W. Boyle, my buddy in Raleigh there, and the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals up in Charlotte, Virginia, and of course the U.S. Supreme Court. Terrence W. Boyle, the state legislature for the state of Vermont, they got the memo, and all the massive poisoning of Lake Champlain. It's exposed, Judge Boyle. There's nothing the judiciary and the government can do to put the genie back in the bottle. Now, folks, I'm going to leave it right there, and I hope you like my old shipping container. It's kind of cool. It was a generator house. I got two of them, actually, and going to do some interesting remodeling here. Folks, I'm going to leave it right there, and as always, hasta la vista. God bless, and you betcha, as long as I'm breathing, as long as I'm kicking, I'll try to get back.